Have you ever failed so many times that quitting started to feel logical? Like maybe it's not bad luck. Maybe it's just you. Stay with me until the end, because this story will challenge that thought, and maybe destroy it completely. This is about a man who failed 8 times, not once, not twice, 8. And still, he won. Not because he was gifted, not because he got lucky, but because he refused to let failure define the end of his story. His name was Zephan Calder. You've never heard of him? No one had. He lived in a narrow apartment above a noisy street, cars honking, people shouting, the faint smell of street food drifting through a cracked window. But inside, it was quiet, too quiet. Zephan had a dream. Not a loud one, not flashy, just something simple. He wanted to build something meaningful, something that mattered. But every time he tried, life pushed back, hard. He woke up every day with a plan, and went to bed every night with disappointment. Same cycle, different attempt. He felt invisible, like his life was going nowhere, like everyone else was moving forward. And he was stuck in place, watching, waiting, failing. The first failure came early. A small online project. He spent months on it. No one cared. Second, a collaboration. His partner left halfway. Third, a job opportunity. He wasn't a good fit. Fourth, a creative idea he believed in. Someone else launched it first. Fifth, a risk. He lost money. Sixth, another attempt. Burned out before it even started. Seventh, a final push. Everything he had left, and it collapsed. Each failure, heavier than the last. But the eighth didn't just hurt, it broke him. He stayed up for nights, working, fixing, adjusting. His eyes burned, his hands trembled, the soft hum of his laptop echoing in the room. He told himself, this one is different. But when it ended worse than all the others. No response, no feedback, no sign that it even mattered. Like shouting into a void, he sat there, still, empty. Nothing is changing, nothing will change. The words slipped out. Not dramatic, just honest. That night, he didn't cry, he didn't react, he just shut down. The next morning, he didn't set an alarm, didn't check his phone, didn't care. He lay there, staring at the ceiling. The paint was slightly cracked, a faint line running across it. He followed that line with his eyes, again and again. Like it was the only thing left to focus on. This was his breaking point. Not loud, not emotional. Just silence. Hours passed, until finally, he stood up. Slow, heavy. He walked outside. No destination, just movement. The air felt cold, sharp against his skin. He walked past people, busy, focused, alive, and he felt disconnected, like he didn't belong in that world anymore. Eventually, he stopped. A small, forgotten bookstore, dusty windows, faded sign. He stepped inside. The smell hit him instantly. Old paper, time, stillness. There was only one person inside, an older woman, standing behind the counter, watching him. Her eyes were calm, observant. "You look tired," she said. Zephan didn't respond. He just nodded slightly. She walked around the counter. Slow steps. "I've seen that look before," she said. "What look?" "The one that comes after too many failures." Zephan looked at her. For the first time, there was curiosity. "I failed 8 times," he said. She didn't react, didn't look surprised. She just nodded. "Good," she said. That word felt wrong. "Good," he repeated. She smiled faintly. "Yes, because now you're finally ready." Zephan frowned. "Ready for what?" She stepped closer, her voice calm, clear. "Ready to stop chasing success and start building resilience." Silence. That word, resilience. It stayed in the air. "What does that even mean?" he asked. She looked directly at him and said one line. Just one rule. Don't measure your life by wins. Measure it by how many times you continue. Zephan stared at her, confused. "But I keep failing." She nodded. "And you keep stopping." That hit hard. He opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out, because deep down, He knew it was true. She walked back to the counter. "Come here every day," she said. "Sit, work, continue. No expectations, no pressure. Just show up." Zephyr hesitated. Why would that change anything? She paused, then said softly, "Because this is where his life changed." Zephyr didn't fully understand, but something inside him shifted. Not excitement, not hope, just a small spark. Enough to move. He nodded and left. That evening, he returned to his apartment. Same noise outside, same silence inside. Nothing had changed, except one thing. He didn't feel like quitting. Not completely. He opened his laptop. The same failed project, the same unfinished work. His hands hovered over the keyboard. Hesitation, fear, doubt. Then he remembered. Don't measure your life by wins. Measure it by how many times you continue. He took a breath and started. Not from the beginning, from where he stopped. Slow, messy, uncertain, but moving. And then, a mistake. A small one. He saved over an important file. Gone. Just like that. Hours of work. Lost. His chest tightened. His fingers froze. This was familiar. Too familiar. The moment where everything ends. The moment he walks away. The moment he quits. He leaned back, closed his eyes. Silence. Then a whisper. "Continue." He opened his eyes, looked at the screen, and instead of quitting, he started rebuilding, piece by piece. Not perfectly, but steadily. For the first time, failure didn't stop him. It slowed him, but didn't end him. The next day, Zephyr went back. Same street, same noise, same dusty bookstore. But this time, he walked in with intention. The bell above the door rang softly, a dull metallic sound. The woman looked up. "You came back," she said. Zephyr nodded. "I said I would." She didn't smile. She just pointed to a small table near the window. "Sit." He sat. The chair creaked slightly. The wood felt rough under his fingers. He opened his laptop, and for a moment, he just stared. The doubt returned. Quiet, persistent. What if this doesn't work again? What if this is just another failure? The questions didn't stop, but this time, he didn't try to silence them. He worked anyway. One small change, then another. Minutes passed, then an hour. The noise of the street faded. All he could hear was the soft tapping of keys and his own breathing. This became his routine. Every day, same table, same chair, no excitement, no big breakthroughs, just work. Slow, consistent. And the woman, she watched, always watching. Days turned into weeks. Zephyr didn't notice at first, but something was changing. Not outside, inside. The frustration started fading. The urgency started calming down. He no longer rushed. He no longer panicked. He just continued. But it wasn't easy. Some days were heavy, very heavy. One afternoon, the bookstore was quieter than usual. Rain tapped softly against the window. The air felt colder. Zephyr sat there, staring at his screen. Nothing was working. Again, lines broken. Ideas unclear. He rubbed his face, exhausted. "This is useless," he whispered. And then it came back, that same voice, stronger, sharper. "Nothing is changing. Nothing will change." He froze. That sentence, it always came at the worst time. His fingers moved away from the keyboard. He closed the laptop. Slowly, the sound echoed in the quiet room. This was it. The eighth failure. Again. He stood up, chair scraping the floor. He grabbed his bag, ready to leave, to disappear, to stop. "Sit." The woman's voice cut through the silence. Zephyr paused, didn't turn around. "I'm done," he said. "No," she replied calmly. "You're uncomfortable." That word stopped him. He turned. "What's the difference?" She stepped closer, her eyes steady. "Done means it's over. Uncomfortable means you're growing." Silence. Zephyr looked at the floor. His grip tightened on the bag. "I've tried enough," he said. Her voice softened. "No, you've stopped enough." That hit deeper. He didn't respond. Because again, she was right. "Sit," she said again. This time, he listened. He sat down. Slow, reluctant. He opened the laptop, hands heavy, mind tired. But he didn't leave. He fixed one thing. Just one. And then another, and another. Small steps, painfully slow, but real. That day, he stayed longer than usual. Not because he wanted to, but because he refused to quit. That was new. Weeks passed. Then something unexpected happened. Zephan stopped thinking about failure. Not completely, but less. It didn't control him anymore. It didn't define his actions. It just existed, and he kept moving anyway. One morning, he walked into the bookstore. Something felt different. Lighter. He sat down, opened his laptop, and worked. Hours passed. No frustration. No panic. Just flow. And then, it happened. A small breakthrough. Not huge, not life-changing, but real. Something worked. Finally. Zephan leaned back, heart beating slightly faster. But he didn't celebrate. He didn't overreact. He just nodded and kept going. Because now, he understood something. This wasn't about winning. This was about becoming someone who doesn't stop. That was the real shift. I am the one who continues. That thought settled inside him. Strong, quiet, unshakable. That was his identity now. Not a failure. Not unlucky. Not broken. Just consistent. One evening, he looked around the bookstore. The dusty shelves, the quiet air, the place that felt small at first, now felt powerful. He stood up, walked to the counter. The woman was there, as always, watching. "You were right," he said. She tilted her head slightly. "About what?" He paused, then said, "It wasn't about winning. It was about continuing." She smiled, for the first time. A real smile. "Now you're ready," she said. Zephan frowned. "Ready for what?" She didn't answer. She just looked at him and said softly, "Go." He stepped out of the bookstore. The bell rang one last time behind him. Soft, final. The street felt different now. Same noise, same people. But Zephan was not the same. He didn't rush, didn't look for signs, didn't expect anything. He just walked, calm, steady. For the first time in years, he wasn't chasing success. He was building something deeper. Discipline. That quiet strength that doesn't break when things go wrong. Days passed. He kept working. Same process. Continue. Every day. Even when it felt pointless. Even when nothing happened. Because now, he didn't need results to keep going. That changed everything. Then one night, he uploaded his work. No announcement. No expectations. Just another step. He closed his laptop. Went to sleep. The room was quiet. The city noise faded into the distance. For once, his mind was calm. The next morning, he woke up to something unusual. Notifications. A few at first, then more, then more. Messages, comments, shares. His work was being seen. Zephan sat there, still, watching the screen light up. His heart started racing. But he didn't jump. He didn't celebrate. He didn't panic. He just breathed. Because deep down, he already knew. This wasn't luck. This wasn't sudden success. This was the result of every single day he chose to continue. Weeks passed. His work grew. Slowly, then faster. People started recognizing his name. Opportunities came. Real ones. The kind he used to dream about. But something was different now. He didn't chase them. He didn't beg. He chose. Because he wasn't desperate anymore. He was built from failure, from repetition, from discipline. One evening, he stood in front of his mirror again. Same cracked paint above, same small room. But everything felt different. He looked into his own eyes and saw something new. Control. Calm. Clarity. He leaned closer and said quietly, "I didn't win because I succeeded. I won because I never stopped becoming." That was his identity. Not success, not failure, growth. And that's what most people never understand. Winning is not a moment. It's a process, a long, quiet, uncomfortable process, where nothing seems to change, until one day, everything does. And now, let me talk to you. Yes, You, the one watching this right now, the one who feels stuck, tired, frustrated, maybe even done. You've tried, you've failed, more than you can count, and now, you're thinking, maybe this just isn't for me. But listen carefully. That thought is the exact moment your story is tested. Not when things are easy, not when you're winning, but right there, in the middle of failure, in the middle of doubt, in the middle of silence. That's where your next step matters most. Because most people, they stop. They restart something new. Or worse, they do nothing. But the ones who win, they follow one rule. Don't measure your life by wins, measure it by how many times you continue. That's it. No shortcuts, no tricks, just consistency. The kind that feels invisible, the kind that no one praises, but it builds something inside you that nothing can break. There will be days where you feel empty, where nothing works, where your mind tells you nothing is changing, nothing will change, and in that moment, you have a choice. Stop or continue. That's it. One decision, repeated every day, and over time, that decision builds your future. Most people will ignore this and stay the same. But if you're still here, something inside you is different. Something inside you is ready. So here's what I want you to do. Try this for 30 days. No big plans, no pressure, just one rule: continue. Every single day. Even if it's small. Even if it feels pointless. Especially then. And watch what happens. Not just outside, but inside. Because that's where everything starts. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Start now. Continue now. And if you're serious about changing your life, come back after 30 days and comment below. Tell me what changed.